Anne Hathaway denounces her privilege. Anne Hathaway has taken a brave stand against white supremacy, publicly denouncing her straight, white, and cisgender privilege during a speech. After accepting the National Equality Award during a human rights campaign dinner, Hathaway explained her idea of privilege, and she said, "It is important to acknowledge, with the exception of being a cisgender male, everything about how I was born has put me at the current center of a damning and widely accepted myth. That myth is that gayness orbits around straightness, transgender orbits around cisgender, and that all races orbit around whiteness." I mean, isn't this just some form of bigotry of low expectations, coming from a woman standing in front of the world wearing a really nice dress and enjoying a fancy dinner with all of her rich celebrity friends, trying to tell the world how virtuous she is? But isn't she also saying that people think all races orbit around whiteness? I mean, isn't that assumption in itself bigoted? And to think that the world looks up to straight people but frowns on everyone else. I think the West is one of the most accepting places in the world for minorities. Just try going somewhere else. People like this just want to pat each other on the back and show the world how virtuous they are. She even gushed during her speech that an earlier speech by former Vice President Biden gave her heart back. And by the way, being gay and trans means being part of a minority. So by default, they will always, in a way, orbit cis people, at least in that the world is majority straight and those who consider themselves gay or non-binary, etc., will always be a minority. Let's use little people as an example. They are a minority and deserve all the same respect as regular height people, but are we going to start changing most buildings to accommodate people with a much smaller stature? I mean, in a way, they orbit regular-sized people. And the same is true of people in wheelchairs. Of course, people in wheelchairs deserve and get the same respect as everyone else, but we're not going to start abolishing stairs because the world revolves around able-bodied people. This woman just can't see how privileged she is. Look at how much work has gone into making her look good. She gets to stand on stage and receive an award and be adored by the world. Would she like to say that it's all her own hard work that got to her to where she is, or will she chalk it up to privilege and claim it was all handed to her on a silver platter? Isn't it time we moved on from this? I don't know many Republicans at all who dislike gay people or non-white people. Republicans are good and decent people, but that's not what they want you to think. Who in their right mind hates gays or minorities? And do we still need big fancy dinners to say obvious truths that minorities matter? This constant pandering and standing up to evil that doesn't really exist, at least in the form of Western politicians or society, is unnecessary and, in my opinion, belittling. It's time we stopped mollycoddling and treating minorities like children and instead giving them the respect they deserve as equal adults. If you want to see more from me and the rest of the Rebel team, like and subscribe.